everyone, this is Little Red Riding Rock coming at you with my very first Sims 4 speed build. Today what I've got for you is a small 1-bedroom, 1-bath home. It does not technically qualify as a tiny home because of the wraparound porch that I've got on there. There's too many tiles. As well as it does have a small garage out to the back. And this build has a fairly large backyard garden and, as I mentioned, a little wraparound porch. Now, I was not inspired by anything. I didn't do any kind of house plan search or anything like that. So what I'm just doing now is laying out the basic shape, and you'll see me, I will change up some of the stuff here and there as things just come to me while I'm building. Again, this is my very first speed build, so I'm still kind of learning when it comes to the video editing. You'll see lots of little cuts like that and some not so smooth transitions, so I do apologize. If you do have any constructive criticism, I welcome it. Just don't be mean. I'm kind of sensitive. But what I'm doing right now is creating that little wraparound porch that I mentioned, laying out the bathroom, bedroom areas, and things like that. I know some Sims builders that I watch like to do the exterior first and do all the landscaping, but I am so indecisive, so oftentimes I will change up, as you'll see right here, the little things that I've already placed down. And that's true of the interior too. You'll see throughout this build some furniture that eventually gets deleted, and you'll see the final results in the screenshots at the end of the video. So, if there's anything that you have questions on that you're watching, if you want to know a specific pack of an item that I use, just let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions in the comments. Now I've just got my temporary lights in while I work on the interior, laying out the doors and things like that. And here I'm just laying out the kitchen. I do change it up quite a bit because at first I'm really not sure what kind of layout I want since this is kind of a narrow kitchen. These are probably one of my favorite cabinets. I believe they're called the escargot cabinets, and I think they are base game. And they have some really nice swatches. The white looks great, but I believe I go with a darker brown later on in the video. And they kind of work with lots of different kinds of styles. They look really good in retro homes and in modern style ones. And the tile top just, I think, looks really nice. Now, most of the time when I'm building homes, I don't really have any kind of thought as to who they're for. I'm not really a big gameplay simmer. I do mostly use it for building because that's my favorite part. And that's why I gave it a street name as opposed to like a descriptor. Because I really don't know who this is for. It could be for somebody who's just starting out, like a college student, a widow, or somebody who's recently divorced. Just anything like that. And I'm just placing some windows throughout the house. Primarily for this build, I'm using, I think these are from Discover University. I do lay them out just in the primary swatch, but you'll see later on in the video they do get changed to white, I believe. And here I get distracted and work on the bathroom next, so that I know exactly where I want everything placed and can finish the windows at a later time. And here I'm just finishing the layout of the bathroom, getting those counters placed, same ones we used in the kitchen. Here I'm just going through the comfort section and laying out the bed, and then of course, see here I jumped to the living room. And that's one of my favorite couches. It's got some really nice swatches, and it's got like pillows and stuff on it. I think it's really cute. I wish we had more like that. When I do build a home for myself, I use a lot of CC to make it look exactly how I like it, and I use a lot of couches and stuff that people have made with pillows and stuff that you can add on to them. Here I realized that hall was pretty large and empty, so I just sectioned it off into a laundry room and added a different back door. Right here, I just decided to add some columns and that's called a spandrel, just to kind of section off the kitchen a little bit more from the living room. And I think that is from Laundry Day, those little nightstands that I used. And there's some really nice, cute little things in there. And then just working on the hallway entryway area. I typically do a lot of clutter in my builds, especially if there's like a family. But since this one is so small, I just kind of gave it, it's still kind of cluttery vibe, but a little bit cleaner. Getting rid of those couches that I did not include since I ended up deleting them, and just having some trouble placing that chair there with the desk. So I really like this window. I wish that when we did place stuff in it, it wouldn't like make the game think that it's outside. Sometimes if you set things inside of it, it doesn't light up like the rest of the stuff in the room. But I end up going with those vine separators that we got, I think, out of the I forget the actual name, but the plants kit that we got not too long ago. And there's another one of my favorite pieces. I love those little buckety chairs. I think those came from Paranormal Stuff or Activity. I don't know all the names of the packs unless I'm looking at them. So, setting a little bit more decor to the laundry room and the kitchen. I never really used that wicker shelf thing, but my grandma and my mom always had a lot of wicker stuff, and so I thought it was just kind of cute, especially if this is for like an older person who's living on their own. And here I just decided that that desk isn't working out, so I replace it with the keyboard, which would look a whole lot better if it was an upright piano. EA, please give us that. And just doing some terrain paint because I got distracted, like always. And again, sorry for all the bouncing around. That's just kind of my style there. But I cut out most of the terrain paint since it's kind of boring. So, and end up covering that back walk with sidewalk. So, here and just kind of working on the garage, which that's something else that we need, even if the cars are debug and we can't actually use them. We still need garage doors. I like realism in my builds and stuff. I wish we had things like electrical outlets and light switches, even if they're nothing but decor. I would love stuff like that. Like I mentioned, an upright piano, garage doors, just little things like that that just make the home. I was so glad when they got the like the drain pipes. When I found those, that was great because I think they just kind of make the outside look more realistic. I happen to have forgotten to add one in the video, um, and I think I uploaded it without it too. So, um, so me saying that is a little humorous. But yeah, and in some of my other builds, I like to use the paper towel thing that we have, the paper towel decor, and I size it up and add some pipes and use that as like a hot water tank because we are also lacking in that. But how fun do you think it would be to have something like that in our builds and it breaks and then all of a sudden a sim is taking a cold shower? I just think that would be really, really funny. I'm sorry, I'll stop ranting now. I have gone ahead and gone back inside to work on the floors and the wallpaper. And I don't really want anything too dark in here. It's kind of a nice light space. So I end up choosing this kind of florally wallpaper with the what do you call that? Wainscoting? I'm not sure. Chair rail is how we usually refer to it. And I wish we had some more tile backsplash type, but I think that one ends up working out really well. And I use the same one in the bathroom. And I don't usually do this, but I kind of wanted an accent wall in this bedroom since it's kind of small. So I end up choosing that eventually in a different swatch, that kind of glittery wallpaper. There I go. There's a swatch. And that's my favorite color, teal. So I'm trying not to use it as much in these builds that I release to the gallery because, people want different colors. But I think it worked really well in that little bedroom there. So here I just go out to work on the roof. It takes me a little while to kind of figure out how I want it to look and and get it all together. At one point, I tried to make kind of like an awning style roof over that little walkway to the garage, but since the house has a foundation and the garage doesn't, it wouldn't work, and that annoys me. So I ended up cutting out a lot of the roof footage just because it took me forever to figure out how exactly it looked the best. So, and I also end up right here going ahead and extending that porch a little and putting those stairs there. I think with that and the fence that I ended up choosing for the railing, I think it ended up looking really nice. And I try out this rock style fence for a little while, kind of put that on and just to see how it looks with the foundation. Then I end up choosing, but they don't match, which is another one of my pet peeves. I wish we had more matching sets because in my area, I live in Arkansas, and a lot of the area of the city that I live in, there's lots of older style craftsman homes and stuff, and the foundation just comes up and turns into the porch railing, so it matches, and it just looks really, really nice. But it's really hard to do that here in The Sims 4 because there's not very many foundations and fences that match. And I wish we had some more craftsman style columns too. I know we have at least one, but I don't like the swatches on that very much. So here I'm just going through and trying to figure out the exterior. And I end up going with this kind of orangey wood siding. I think that turns out and looks pretty good with the wood. So I just go around and fix all that up and go ahead and do the rest of my windows and just kind of adjust their placement and everything. So I try to fit one here, but there's just not really a very good size one for that little bitty laundry room. I do love that little laundry room door though. I think that came from Cottage Living or maybe one of the like craft packs, like the knitting stuff maybe. I just really like that shade that it's got on it. It looks nice and realistic. And again, that's one of the things that I wish we had more of. Like screen doors, for example. A lot of homes around here, a lot of the ones that I grew up in, had screen doors because we didn't have air conditioning. And that's how we got the house cool. And you got a nice breeze coming in. But if you've ever been to Arkansas, mosquitoes are awful. And I really should have wrote a script or something for this because I'm just kind of bouncing all over the place. Sorry. Here I'm just picking out the trim and the look for the roof. I do notice that it looks kind of funky up underneath there. So I go ahead and add a roof to the porch. And that way when you're playing it doesn't look so weird up underneath there. So, all right, and we are back inside now, doing some lamps and stuff. So I'm just picking out the actual lighting that is going to end up being in the final build. And I will eventually delete those saucer lights. And I don't use enough of these standing lamps. I need to go through and look at some more of them and kind of figure out which ones I like. So to the bathroom, I realized I didn't put a mirror in there. So got that and some vanity lighting done up. And I think that looks pretty good. And decide to go ahead and just make the hall feel a little bit bigger with by cutting out that little piece there. That was the original clothing storage that I had in mind. That's from Dream Home Decorator. But I just didn't think it ended up looking that great. So I kind of cut that wall there to give it a less, uniform shape, and go ahead and pick out something that looks a little bit nicer. So end up going with this this dresser here, and I think it looks pretty nice. I do end up changing the color for it later as well. And then I just go looking for a shelf for some decor. And I hadn't brought it out yet on this build, but I do use the tool mod by TwistedMexi. I think it is great. It makes placing things so much easier because there's just not enough slots on some of these shelves, and it's so hard to arrange things. So for some things that you can do this, you can kind of just pull it out and then place it, but it's hard to kind of get it exactly where you want without some trial and error. But with the tool mod, it makes placing stuff so much simpler and getting it just right. I also recommend TwistedMexi's. Um, I think it's just called the Better BuildBuy catalog mod. It puts all the debug stuff and organizes it into your regular catalog, so you don't have to go hunting for it. Makes things a whole lot simpler. So, just placing a few decor things, and I'll go back later with the tool mod and kind of edit them and put them exactly right. So, just going through and putting on some more decor. Um, and right now I'm just placing it out on the counter. And here in a little while, I'll go back and just put everything exactly where I want it. So, and going through, I'd like that shelf for the garage. And here I realized that I had not done the inside of the garage door. So just placed that wallpaper and those columns. Make it look a little bit more realistic on the inside there. When I first decided to try my hand at doing a speed build video, I had no idea how hard it was going to be to do a voiceover. I'm just not really good at speechifying. Um, as you can probably tell, I have a lot of and other pauses and stuff like that in there. And so I apologize if it's kind of annoying. Hopefully I will get better the more that I do. And so here I spend a stupid amount of time getting that towel holder and the toilet paper roll holder lined up exactly in those tiles. But I thought it looked pretty neat there. So, and that's one of the tricks that I like to use. I like to hang a little towel like that on the counter in front of the sink. It's a lot harder when the sink counter is up against a wall because it likes to snap to. That's another thing that the tool mod is really great for. You can get it to hover exactly where you want it and just kind of hide it in there. And I'm not as adventurous as some of the other people I've seen use it, so there's lots of other really great speed builds that use the tool mod to make just these amazing, amazing structures. Kate Emerald is one that I watch a lot, and they are a master with the tool mod. It's really neat to watch. So here I am just kind of filling up the space with the different things. Again, I don't want this to be terribly cluttered, um, but I like this stuff to kind of look lived in. So here I just sized down this little box. I think it's a storage box. I think you can actually put stuff in it to make it more just like a little trinket. And I really like this little vase here. It's got some nice swatches that I just sized down and put in. That's another one of my favorite vases. I really like the look of that one. Sometimes I put plants in it and sometimes I don't. I've got this little garden fairy statue that I sized down. And here I am just getting that vase level with the shelf. So, and if you're not familiar with the tool mod, there's some really great tutorials that you can watch once you download it. It's very, very easy to use. So definitely recommend it if you like to build. So now I am just going to go through and kind of arrange all of my clutter how I like it. And this is one of my favorite little tricks here. I like to stack these towels. Sometimes I'll size down the top one and sometimes I won't. Here I kind of think they look like washcloths now on top of the bigger ones. So I think that looks kind of nice. So just adjusting everything. And I wish we had more like cleaning supply clutter, kind of like this little squirt bottle thingy here. Um, Again, it's a realism thing for me. So, and if you don't know exactly what I'm doing here, by pulling those items or those counters out, and then moving the items with the Alt key, you can place them exactly where you like them. They don't get locked to the counter slots, and they're at the right height for the counter if you move them directly off. So I'm just getting that done. Now those salt and pepper shakers, they're listed as salt and pepper shakers. I don't think they look like that, not in that swatch anyway. So I tend to use them as like an oil and vinegar bottle. So you'll see me here in just a little bit. I'll place another salt and pepper shaker down. That just looks a little bit better. And here I have gotten confused about exactly where my counter placement was. So I have to go back and move everything back. But that's what happens when you get distracted and forget to pay attention. So I just have to move everything back a little bit and then it lines up perfect. So, alright, just getting all of that taken care of there. I wish we had more soap bottles and I think like a wall mounted paper towel holder would be neat. And toasters. We don't have toasters, do we? Or at the very least, I don't think they're functional if we do. I know I have in my CC, I have some toasters that I've gotten that look really, really nice. But I don't think we have any EA toasters. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So, and there's those salt and pepper shakers that I actually like, going next to the ones that I've classed as oil and vinegar bottles. So, and I like that we have a remote in the debug menu. Again, it's just those little things that just kind of make a build look so much better. So can't forget the smoke alarm there, because we all know that our Sims are going to catch themselves on fire, like immediately. And here I am just placing those debug booze, or I guess it's nectar in The Sims. Just placing those bottles and just adjusting them because they do float a little bit, those two. The other one for some reason snaps, but those other two for some reason just do not. It's kind of annoying. But working on the outside here a little, can't have a nice big porch without a grill. So, and just placing that little brush there and the big long lighter thingy. All right. And I usually end up placing two little trash cans like this. A trash can and then like a recycling type bin. And gotta add a vacuum cleaner. Although I think a lot of people don't like the what is it? Bust the dust. I don't think a lot of people like that pack. But just putting in some activity items. We've got our fizzy bubbler thingy and the wood bench, and I put the candle bench, the candle making thingy, on the porch there. So your Sims have lots of stuff that they can do. And what's a home without a pet? I usually just put fish in my builds if I do a pet at all. I don't tend to actually put any cat or dog stuff in, just because I don't usually play with the pets actually. So, all right, and on to the greenery. This build of mine here doesn't have a whole lot of indoor plants, but sometimes I get really crazy with it. Like in my next build that I've been working on, it's a very big plant lot. So there's lots of stuff inside and outside. It's got a huge landscape gardens. And I'll be releasing that probably here within a couple of weeks. I've got a lot of editing to do on it. It was a much larger build than this, and I have 16 hours of footage to cut through. So, and oh, here we go. I actually forgot that I deleted that original couch. This one is really nice too. It's got the clutter on it, the pillows and stuff as well that I really like. And that's such a pretty blue. And working on the rugs now, so you don't want to scratch up that pretty wood flooring. So that's one of my favorite rugs there. I think that also came from Paranormal. I'm not 100% on that, but just making everything kind of look neat in here. And then I realized there that you can't actually put the rug under the toilet. So, and oh, I'd forgotten that I put that easel out there on the porch for some skill building. Here I like these little fuzzy rugs. They kind of look like fur, and I like to just kind of size them up and then layer them so it looks like a much bigger rug. And just kind of making this one here, this little woven rug, kind of fit the space more by sizing it up a little bit. All right, and time for mirrors and artwork. Just trying to get that centered there. And nope, that doesn't look good there. Nope. So I just go ahead and decide to put some artwork on the walls. So And I end up just kind of, for some reason I tried that and it wasn't sizing up. So, but I found these matching ones. There were four. They fit the space perfectly. And so I just kind of went with those instead. Alright. And I like these little flower pictures here. And I like that they have different photos. I think it would be easier if they were separated and you could just change the color of the photo and or the frame instead of having the swatches be different photos. I think it'd be much easier to find some of this stuff sometimes. But what are you gonna do? So, just finishing up with the paintings and stuff. We need more. We need more like standing or propped up pictures. Um, stuff that can go on tables. Mirrors too. I would love to have just a little desk that I can put a little makeup mirror on. I know we have vanities, but those are sometimes a little too big. But yeah, pictures and mirrors that can sit on top of desks. And portraits. We need more portraits too. I tried to take some pictures of some Sims and add them into this build. I cut it out because it just did not work. It worked, but I tried to test it and pretended like I was going to upload it to the gallery, and it counted it as mods, so I ended up deleting them. I don't want to put anything that has mods or custom content on the gallery. I'm still trying to figure out how to upload to the Sims resource and places like that. I have not figured out how to pull lots off of the game to upload them elsewhere. So here I am just using that wonderful tool mod again to lower these condiments so that you don't see the little cutting board anymore. And so it just looks like the condiments are sitting on the countertop. And now is about the time in my builds where I start picking all the final colors for everything. Again, I don't typically do that when I'm building. I like to kind of get a feel of the space and kind of get the decor and everything in before I start picking all of the different colors. I really like this wood tone of the cabinets though, and I like that darker tile on the top there. One of these days I'm going to actually pick a color for the washers, for the washer and dryer, instead of just going with like the black or this white or the stainless steel look. So, and now back outside, we're just going to add a few things, some sitting spaces, and I've never been really good on decorating the porch spaces, really. We didn't have really big porches in any of the houses that I grew up in, so, and we weren't outside people either, really, so. And at this point, I decide that I want like a fenced off area. I struggle a little bit with placing the fence for a while. I cut out quite a bit when I was doing it because it just was not lining up properly because of the foundation on the house. So, um, and I'm using these hedges to do a fence along the outside since they've got the house so close to the lot boundary. I wish we could build fences right on the edge of the property, but it makes us go one space in, which I think is silly. So, and just lighting up the garage area. Now, I do use those saucer lights permanently in some spaces, like in a garage, just because you're not going to have a fancy light fixture out there. So I turn the time of day to night, so I can go ahead and do all of my outside lighting so it shows up proper, and just rearrange these little walk lights and everything. It got cut out, but I did eventually fix that fence there and add a little bit more of a walkway. And now we're pretty much at the point where I go ahead and try to decorate the outdoor space, get some plants and stuff in there. I really like those bushes. I think they look really nicely. And the lavender I use in a lot of my stuff. Um, what are these called? Hydrangeas? I can't see the can't see the label on them on the screen. I'm going too fast. I think they're hydrangeas. I like that they come in a lot of different swatches, so I use them quite a bit as well. I'm trying to figure out something that'll fit in that space there. I think that looks good. Alright, I'm just kind of adjusting things as we go. So I decided that I did want this lot to have a little bit of a growing garden area. So I add a few of those planters, and then do a little bit of the terrain paint to give it a walkway that isn't like, concrete and stuff like that. Just go around giving some definition to everything. Um, I cut out a lot of that terrain paint stuff because it was all just going along the outside edges of the build and everything. And that's pretty much it for this speed build. I'm just placing the curtains, and then we are on to the screenshots. I really want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Please like and share. This is available on the Sims 4 gallery under the same username, lilredridingrock. I hope you enjoyed and have a great day.